right, y'all. Houston, we have a problem and we need to talk about it. Welcome to the next episode of Cocktails with Cousins. I'm Erica.
I'm Jay.
I'm Raina.
And we are here to talk about this reunion for Married at First Sight Houston, where all the problems were all laid out on the table for all to see. And I can't wait to get started to talk about them. But first, go ahead and hit the like button because trust me, we have plenty to talk about and you're going to like this episode. Make sure you hit the share button and the subscribe button and so you'll never miss an episode. And we are going to jump right on in. Let's talk about Jose and Rachel. And I want you guys to start. Summer Rachel is an actual person that came this summer.
Absolutely.
She said, one, it was like, we're not together. And she went on trips on top of trips on top of trips. And I was like, this girl actually broke up with him over the summertime so she could travel and have a good time. She said, I'm letting dude go because I don't have time for it. He ain't trying to go nowhere. And I'm trying to go somewhere. So how about we just get a divorce? I mean, what did y'all think?
Yep, she wanted the hot girl summer.
Yeah, I mean, hot girl summer has a different implication, I think. But I think that that's a part of her that is very, very important. And she's expressed this several times that this was important to her and that she wanted to continue this. And she didn't say by herself, and she said it again in the reunion. I want to experience these things with my husband. However, if you aren't up for it, I'm out of here. So, I mean, and I think by her doing that, she made a statement to him to let him know, I'm serious about this. And then it seemed to work because he worked to get her back. And now he's like, yeah, I don't mind going and all this. So maybe he needed that rude awakening. Maybe he thought she was playing games in these streets. I
don't know. Well, you know what, though? I was like, okay, maybe we were quick to judge because they did mutually say that when he wanted to go on vacation, that he was staying in the best hotels and having the best accommodations. And that's why it seemed like he was a little hesitant to travel, which kind of makes sense. Because if he's thinking like, this girl want to go on a trip every month and you talking about spending $1,400, $1,500 every month on food for a few, whatever, like that makes sense now. But I think he could have said that in the episode, so we could have called him a penny pincher.
Right. And then she also said, she was like, well, because she want to go on so many trips, she tries to save money, and by not spending too much on hotels and their stays and stuff. So I can understand that, I guess that's just miscommunication between them two. But I mean, the issue wasn't even the trips. It was about her moving in and how he didn't want all her things there. How he was like, making her hurry up and unpack. He was like, when are you gonna unpack? When are you gonna unbox all these things? And she just felt rushed. She didn't feel welcome. So she was just like, you know what? I'm moving into my mom's house.
Well, I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate. And I think that he was rushing her because he was already rushing her when they went to go see her house in the first place. But I think that was all a part of her too, because she knew that some part of her had hesitation about moving into his house. So I think she did her stuff and slowly unpacked because she was like, well, when it's time to go, I just want to grab my boxes and run. And that's exactly what she did. She was like, I'm not unpacking anything because I ain't gonna be here long because hot girl summer is coming.
And you know what? He probably was saying things too to indicate that as well, where she didn't feel 100% comfortable or maybe feeling like, okay, let me see. And I'm pretty sure she had a conversation with her mom, like, look, Mom, I'm moving in here, but let me tell you what I might need is to move back in. And I think that one thing that she expressed very clearly to us in the beginning as an audience is that she enjoyed her independence. So by moving in with Jose, it was a part of her independence being taken. So when you're independent like that, you always have plan A, B, C, Z, Z1, Z2. So she probably had it all laid out like, okay, I'll go with this and see if we can make it through it. But as soon as he started tripping, she was like, you forgot my mama right here, so... And I don't blame her, and I hope he learned his lesson. And it seemed that he did. It seemed as if he did.
I actually think it's probably best that she did move to her mom's house because they really, they got married at first sight. So there was no dating between. You don't just move in with somebody right away, right? And that's what they did because that's part of the show. So they
Yeah.
probably do need that time to date. You know, they're still learning one another. So I feel like they're doing actually, they're moving forward in the relationship, but still have their independence. They're taking their time to move in with one another, how it normally goes, like in any relationship. So I actually think that they're taking the right steps towards making it in the long run. They are still married. They're moving towards that. So I actually commend them. They're not, I guess, technically broken up. They're still together, but dating one another. So I think that they're actually doing a good job.
Yeah, and they seem to be on the same page too, like that, okay, that split was beneficial. We're gonna work towards being together again. So it seems that it was appropriate, like it was good, and they understand. And I think, like you said, it is not a traditional way of dating or getting married, and so they might have to do a non-traditional approach to make it work, which would be okay. Let's split a little bit. Let's make sure. But I like the fact that they did not give up like the other couples that were ready to sign on the dotted line, like, hold on, let's go ahead and get this taken care of because legally we bound together. So it lets me know that they both came in with the intentions that they expressed initially, and then at the end when they said they wanted to be together, they both were on the same page with that as well.
Yeah, I agree, but I do think that if you're signing up for a show like this, then you have to be ready to take on all of the ramifications of the show. Now, in his situation, he was a little controlling and he needed to be checked. Because we know that this infamous I secure my property came up again. And I'm trying to figure out, where was Kevin at? Can they let Kevin do the interviews with them during the season? Because he asked all the hard questions. Ain't nobody trying to ask all the hard questions all season long. And he was like, bruh, come on, be real with us. We know you did it on purpose. Just say you was being petty. And he was like, and he tried to skate around the top. He ain't do it on. Dude, everybody know it. You did it. Like, why?
Right. Yeah. It was like,
but you know what he did, that was a female move, because females, we're petty like that, and we all can agree that, oh, I did something like that in this relationship, previous relationship, all my relationship, whatever. So I just feel like that was a girl move or female move, or and so I think that the whole audience knew that he was lying. So he should have just said it and just got it over with, instead of now it's just gonna, every interview they're gonna say, now do you really want to admit now that you locked her out? Just feel like, yeah, I locked her out. I was mad. I grew from that. I'm a new person. Move on. Let's go.
Well, we'll say it's mannerisms. Anywho. Yeah. I felt like Kevin, he was not gonna let him go, and I feel like that's what all those experts should have been doing to him all along. I know Dr. Pepper got into him a little bit.
I say Dr. Pepper.
But she didn't get into him like Kevin. Kevin broke it down like, oh, we know what you was thinking. Like,
with all of them too, though. He was like that with all of them. When he got on Brother Zach, we'll get there. He did. He seemed, I guess, because he was like, I'm on this TV screen. Y'all can't do nothing to me.
Right. This is my job. It's my job to get the tea, and y'all gonna give it to me. Anywho, enough tea about them, right? Let's talk about Ryan and Brett. What was going on with them on this reunion?
So Ryan and Brett, they came in talking about, well, there's no animosity. We could be friends. We're friends. And then he called Ryan's sister Alexa in, who spilled all the tea, because I had no idea that Brett, what did he say? I think Kevin was asking her, he was like, so did you like Brett? Did you think that they were going to make it? And she was like, no, I did like Brett. And I mean, we thought she was going to be it. And he's like, well, what do you think about her now? And she's like, well, I feel indifferent now that I know that she was dating somebody. And I was like, wait a minute, Brett?
Right.
They can't be talking about Brett. She can't be talking about Brett.
Hold on, check her face and the way that she was sitting.
Yeah, Brett got nervous. She was in a hot seat.
Yeah.
But you know what? She shouldn't have been, because it was very clear from the beginning that he was not interested in her. It was very clear in the beginning that he was very, disconnected. He did not want to put forth the effort. The whole season, he was just there. Only time he came alive is when he was shooting or outside or doing something manly like that. That's the only time or talk about other couples and how they're going to make it or not make it. That's the only time that we got a live body from him. So I get what she said. Then you went to a whole nother room. Like, how many more signs did he have to give her to say, I'm not digging you? So of course I would have lined up somebody too. Like I said, people think, oh, females this and no, line you up some stuff.
You said, let me get a B because this A ain't working.
I'm not mad at Brett. I am not mad at Brett, but I guess, and it's funny because I felt like Ryan probably wouldn't even have brought this up if it wasn't for his sister being there. She's the one who brought it up. Ryan was like, he seemed like
he don't know how to communicate.
Yeah. Well, he don't care because he was on Tinder, honey. He like, I did the same thing.
Now, but he did say he was like, well, the problem that I have with it is that you threw it in my face that I was on Tinder, that whole dating app thing, but here you are dating somebody. So now I could understand his perspective. I do. You can't call me out if we're doing the same thing. But I'm not mad at it though. I get it. I mean, it is what it is.
I'm not mad at it either. I'm with you, Jay. The whole time he said he wasn't interested. And then according to the conversation that they had, everybody else was telling her basically that he wasn't interested either because they kept telling her, you're not his type. You're not his type. Oh, I'm not his type. Well, let me go find somebody whose type I am. And I ain't mad with her. And they didn't date. She said that she got a number and that she held it until she could use it.
Oh no. Ryan said he got receipts, so
no, she definitely used the number. She just playing Face for America, and that's fine because I mean that's like, oh, you slept with him on the first day. Oh, I sure did not, So it's fine if she wants to hold that card and not expose herself. That's fine. But what I will say is she shouldn't have went as hard on him when she knows she was doing the same thing. Bring it up, yeah, because you was doing the same dirt. So I would have like, you doing it too. But I wouldn't have went hard as she did and kept bringing it up.
She went hard though when she brought that up to him. She didn't even say. All she said was, "I got a text. They said you're on a date now and that you matched with somebody." That's pretty much what she said.
They could have just been honest with one another and just call it quits.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Did they even have sex? They're the only couple that
I don't know. I don't think
you know what? Because she said we didn't even get close like that emotionally. But she specified emotionally. So maybe they did.
I don't remember. With some of the couples that insinuated by like the morning after or the night and the cameras go. But with them, it was no such thing. The whole
I think the most. Yeah, I think the most that they did was sit in the hammock together. Like, I don't think
because I didn't even see them kiss.
Right. Yeah.
Hold hands?
No.
I'm trying to see that I even see them hold
each other on the honeymoon.
On the wedding. On the honeymoon they kissed, I think. But it wasn't like all over one another. It may have been a peck here.
It wasn't Rachel Jose worthy.
No, it was on there.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say one thing. I am though at least okay. So we're talking about Brett being a hypocrite because she kind of was hypocritical by getting, bringing it to his attention. But remember how we kept saying, "Oh, I think you said it. You said it first, Jay. She needs to just the situation and say you don't want to be with me. I'm done." Which she kind of did.
You're right.
She put it all over the street. But she kind of did. And so for that, I ain't mad at her.
I'm glad they're done. I'm glad that, they're like, we don't have any harsh feelings. I did feel bad when she brought back up her dog dying because I was like, oh, my dog just died and it's horrible. Like, I can't imagine. Like, well, I think coming back from the vet when I had to put my dog down, I was just like still looking for him because he used to follow me around and all that. So I felt bad when she brought it up because I'm like, dang, just imagine that didn't work out. You come back home and it's supposed to be
got your pet. Yeah, no, I agree. That is, I'm pretty sure when she thinks back on this situation, it's going to be one that's, just one to remember. Unfortunately for her, she lost something that she really loved. Look, again, enough tea about them. Let's get to the real hotness of this episode. And the Ice Queen Mirla, what in the world is going on with them?
Listen, I'm very shocked at the situation. After we saw this throughout the whole season, but she did, we saw her giving. So I was like, okay. And then when she said yes, she had an out right there that would have been appropriate. He would have been ready for it. and everything. But then she said yes. But then even during their conversation, he said, we talked about this before decisions day, and we both agreed that we were going to say yes. So you played him twice. And I saw the hurt in him, and it was so sad because I'm like, come on, don't do him like that. If you don't want to be with somebody and everything, she had plenty of time, plenty of opportunities where it was appropriate. Don't take this dude all the way through this process, making him wait to even really kiss you, touch you. Then you smash. I mean, come on, you took it all the way there. You move into the dude house, he's selling his stuff, and he bought them red bottles. I felt so bad because at first I was like, oh, she bought it for him and they came out. They seemed to be a couple. But once everything unfolded, I'm like, no, you probably did that trying to get her. He seemed like he wants her back. And I would not be surprised if we see that he's putting more and more efforts in to try to, in therapy. I mean, I'm like,
I hope he doesn't.
And she was cold-hearted about it. Very cold-hearted, standoffish, like, who are you? You're beneath me. I didn't like her mannerisms. I didn't like her attitude. I didn't even like how she kept saying, I'm doing this for you. Like, who do you think you are? That's why she's by herself, and she's going to continue to be by herself. Nobody's going to take that. That's too much.
I'm convinced. You know how we said we felt like Johnny was like, over exaggerating, like almost acting. I am convinced that Mirla did this is why she did not get attached to him physically, right? She did not, she was like, no, I don't like to be touched. She did this as she took it as far as she could. Yeah, they ended up smashing, but that's 2 weeks before decision day, right? Yeah. So she took it that far
time too. She probably wanted to see what it was like.
She did the bare minimum to finally get to that point. Because this is all in my mind, I am convinced that this was calculated. She did all this just to be on TV, just to get her acting out there, just to get her face out there. I am so convinced because
I thought about
that you say all that. She was in there crying with Dr. Pepper. Remember that? She was drunk, but she was crying, talking about he is the man of my dreams. I got everything plus more that I asked for. She said all of that in tears. Said yes on decision day. Apparently she and Gil had this conversation prior to decision day to both say yes, right? Yeah. 2 weeks after decision day, she broke up with him, and he said that it wasn't even the well, how can I make this right? It wasn't even, it was just straight up, I don't like you, I don't want to with you, that's it.
Said,
and Kevin asked her, when he asked her, well, what was your non-negotiables? What did she say? She said, is financial stability. She was like, the initial attraction wasn't there. She said there was just no chemistry and I just wasn't happy. But then she switched it up, like you said, Jay, and said, but I was doing what was best for you because you were unhappy. Girl, get the fuck out. I'm sorry, get out of here.
When she said, I ain't never liked you, I ain't never been attracted to you, I was like, huh? We're watching the same season. Like, did I miss something? I mean,
it was playing games.
She started off. Remember, we did say that we were like, I don't know about her. Like, she started off that way, but then she seemed to be being receptive. And what's up with all this? If I focus on the negative, then I'm just gonna be on the negative, and I'm not. What was all that? Like, I feel like, like crazy.
You know, the other thing that she mentioned was their humor. When I'm like, she was like, he said, have you ever heard this before? Because it seemed that they were on the same page with that this whole season of, you say a little joke, I'm not a princess. I'm like, yes, you were. And then, he wasn't the only person who said it. It seemed that was the image that you wanted to portray. And that was the image that you upheld the whole entire season, that you're this, and everybody was catering to her like that. Oh, princess, I know this ain't good for you. I know we gotta that because that's what you put out. But then when people treated you like that and addressed you in that way, then it was an issue. So that's why I said she played a real dangerous mind game, because you do that the wrong person, then that's how you end up on television, because if people are already
Big
unstable or they really want to be accepted and this, that, and the other, and you mess around with the wrong person, you end up getting into a very dangerous situation. So I'm glad that, you know, she was with him, but I'm just like, sis, let's not have this type of behavior moving forward. And then understand that she has to reap what she has put out there. So whatever you put out, the yield will come back. And that's, and she has to deal with that, because
Look,
that's not.
but she doesn't care. Did you see how cold and calculated she was when she was saying all that stuff? I mean, I had to get a blanket because that's how cold it was in the room.
I got mad.
She was horrible.
Remember, you got to remember too, he took her to where he grew up, where his dad was shot and killed. She got so vulnerable with her to do something like that. And for her to sit there and be that cold-blooded, like, she does not deserve, I mean, she don't deserve him. So I'm glad they're not together. But the way she played him, oh man, like, I'm so hurt.
But the thing is, I'm just like, well, what is going on that you would be that cold? You know, like, especially, see, not saying that being that way is okay, but let's say he mistreated her, or, you know, hit her, beat her, abused her in some way, then, and you're that cold, then you can say, well, that's why. Not saying that it's right, but it can make sense. Yeah. But he's been nothing but sweet. And then even sitting beside her, you know, for him to say, I'm still in love. Yeah. I broke, because I'm just like, you sit beside a cold bitch. That's how really? That's literally right there beside you, that's looking at you like, and for you to be able to be man enough to be like, I'm going to do, because he wants it. And he said it over and over again. So he didn't care that on national television he looked like that. But my thing is, I think he looked like a great guy that really wanted to try. You know what I'm saying? But to actually be that vulnerable on television again, after someone is telling you they don't want to be with you and all these things.
I ain't like when Kevin was like, did you not hear? I'm like, don't throw that in his face. Don't do that.
And then he kept mentioning the rest of the show, my wife, blah, blah. He wants it. His actions and everything is saying exactly what he said, which is, I want to be married. I want to be in a relationship, because he could not stop saying my wife. And she had clearly was like, we're not together.
Like, whatever.
And I mean, even after that, and he kept saying, don't, you keep saying it's your wife. And I just was like, he don't want to give it up. I can see him still going after her for months now. I mean, and she would have to go on a whole date.
When Gil was trying to, excuse me, when he was getting down to the nitty gritty of like how things were when they first broke up and all this, when he was saying what she said to him, she was like, nope, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm not going to argue with you. It's like she just did not want to be called out on national television because you look like a cold-blooded bitch. Like that.
No, she didn't. I don't think it had anything about being called out. I think she did not care. You know how, like, if I do that all the time. I said, I'm not arguing with you. No, you don't have nothing to lose. I ain't arguing with you. You know what I'm saying? What she did again was put her here and him here. That's why she was like, you don't even deserve for me to go back. Why am I going back and forth with you again? Like, that's what the thing.
What was interesting is that he said he has more net pay than she does.
By $100 a week. Because I'm like, hold on, Jesus, that's $400. Like,
yeah.
Because the whole time it was insinuated that she made more money, but she had more savings. But again, I think is that he's sending
money back to his mom, and he's putting money in savings, and so for his mom, and that's why he's here living the minimum life that he needs to live. And I get it, because he's at the firehouse, in their shifts, and they have those long, shifts that they have. Mm-hmm. So he's like, well, why do I put money into things when I can send money to my mom? Mm-hmm. And I can live, just decent and be fine. And, because she tried to say he lived like in a hole in the wall. I think he was just being strategic because he knows he's taking care of his family. But yeah, for him to have more money than her. And then what was all that about? Oh, my salary is double. It can't be if he's making more money than her.
And she didn't deny it when he said it.
She sure did not.
That's a lie. She didn't say nothing. She was just like, almost like maybe he allowed her to put that image out that he was making, but at this he wanted to set the record straight. Like, no, it ain't finances now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got that part. But I mean, my thing is, And I feel like he bought them red bottoms and letting them look, I can buy it, I just don't want to. You get what I'm saying? Like, and
I don't
then
know.
and for his career, he probably don't even wear them like that. You spent $1,000 on some shoes that you're gonna wear this year, and then they gonna sit in the closet for 3 years. You might wear them again. Like it might not be that important to him, and it isn't, because he said it several times. I just think that sometimes you have to look at the person. You got to look at what they're bringing, that it might not be materialistic things. It might not be money or jobs. It's what they bring, like the richness that they bring to your life. And that can come in different forms. And if you're not open and able to recognize it and be wise enough to recognize it, then you won't appreciate it. So I just hope he gets a really good girl that appreciates him, wants him, and love on him, and buy him red bottoms.
I hope this opened his eyes to realize, like, to know his worth. You know what I mean? Like, know his worth, and know that he deserves much better than Mirla. So,
Yeah.
whoever's in the DMs, I hope is better than her.
I know, and I just hope that the follow-up is that he with like this banging girl, you know, with her makeup on point, you know, and stuff like that. That's like no, but just somebody that is beautiful inside and out, and that would appreciate him, because you know, it's not that many great men out there, I don't think, left. So I'm just
Well, I know that
good luck.
Yeah, I know that he said that she pushes him to want more. I hope that he takes that wanting more and pursues someone else, because she is not worth his time, and he needs to go ahead on and
then for her, he said he was in therapy. She was sitting there like this.
She did not care. She was
like
phased.
Your point is you should,
like
because you been with Merla. You should be in therapy. Like, I just didn't like that. For somebody to be in therapy, get what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody just, you know, people don't want to go to therapy, period. I mean, when people go to therapy, they get to a point where, like, I need this. You know what I'm saying? Especially in our culture, that's what I'll say. You know, it's not the first thing, I gotta go to therapy. Hold on, let me start off therapy. No, it's a process, and a lot of times it's a lot to get us on the couch. So for him to say that on national television, and you could tell he was holding back the tears, which is why with the preview, when he said he couldn't stop crying, I don't think it was that instance, whatever it was, because we don't know. I think it was the whole show of, you know how you holding it in, and then somebody just be like, grandma, you like, oh God, because you were just holding it all in. And I think that is what we saw. I
think it comes out when he's talking to the experts, and when whoever is questioning him, you know, whenever you're like already down and somebody asks you, are you okay? And you're like, no, like it just come out. Like, I think it's probably one of those moments.
Yeah. I would agree. All right, well, let's move on. Let's talk about when all the guys got together on the show, and they were talking about the season. What are your thoughts? What were your initial thoughts for that scenario?
Well, initially they all seemed like they got along. They said that they all got along, and I was like, okay. And they showed a little clip of Zach and Johnny being the biggest crybabies of the season.
and were.
Zach
still are.
I'm proud of myself to be able to be that vulnerable. I'm like, hey, I guess, okay. But Johnny, did you see Johnny's hair? It was full. And I was like, you know, what is that black stuff that they spray in the hair? I was like,
fiber. It's fiber something.
Yeah. I was like, somebody did that, because, you know, he's balding and he had a head full of hair. So I noticed that. But Kevin Frazier said Gil is the only one who didn't leave. And I was like, wait a minute, Jose did. And then I was like, time out. No, Jose didn't leave because he kicked Rachel out.
Right.
But you know what I noticed? They were the only ones that made it. Rachel and Jose. Nobody else. Did I miss somebody?
That's a loose interpretation of making it.
Well, they're still.
They said they broke
still
up.
Working towards it. Neither one of them left and was like, we might be together. We might. They said no, we're working towards it.
They said they broke up, but now they're moving towards it. So,
exactly.
But they didn't get divorced.
Neither did Mirla and Gil. They're still married.
Yeah, they're still married. I think all of them are still married, because I don't think they've gone through the divorce process.
Because they passed the days that were like, you don't have to do. So hold on, does that mean they have to be separated and all that?
It depends on the laws for the state.
The state, yeah.
In the North Carolina season, they had to be separated from each other for a year before they could file.
12 months. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did y'all peep how Zach was the interpreter of all relationships? He kept saying, well, I didn't think they was gonna make it, but I was surprised when I was like, sir, you should have been focused on your train wreck of marriage. Like, why was you focused on everybody?
We did have an analysis for everybody's relationship and everything, and I was just like, yeah, I'm proud of you, man, because you did it. Because I said, sir. This is not the time nor the place. You're not in the position in this situation to play that role. He can't. Maybe in another one, but him and Michaela was something else.
Well, they showed the clip of Mirla with her whining and complaining, and Kevin Frazier asked all the guys. He said, "Could y'all have dealt with that?" Pete did. Did you? They all commended Gil, like, man, he's probably the best person to have dealt with that. But you know what Johnny said? I invite those issues. Like I wish I had those problems.
He said he would rather have those than the problems that he had.
And I was like, sir, you caused all the problems that you had.
Sure did.
Well, once you see that sneak peek, though, that's gonna mean it's a whole nother meaning when you see it. Like, I was like, wait a minute, Johnny is implying. No, okay, we gonna get.
Look, well, see,
he might, but the thing is, he's an IT manager, so his money might be the same length as hers, and
because her money ain't no length, because they already said that Gil make more money, so we gonna leave that off.
That's true, because she implied like she was making 6 figures and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Okay, so this is what I noticed. Johnny had a whole bunch of faces. Every time they said something that I felt like Johnny had a difference of opinion for, he made faces. So they started talking about, relationships and friendships, and they were talking about Mirla and Rachel being good friends, and they were so excited Mirla was so excited for
single Rachel.
Yeah, for Rachel to be single or whatever, and they were all hanging out together. And then what was this comment about when Kevin asked Johnny, he was like, well, you know Mirla pretty well. How do you think? How does he know her well? Like, I didn't get that comment at all. So did anybody else, did they go to middle school together and I missed it? I don't know. Like, what's
Rachel, right? You talking about Rachel?
No, Kevin. Yeah, go ahead.
So I think what Kevin did ask that, and maybe he was implying something, but instead of Johnny taking it that way, he said, well, I'm friends with Mirla, Rachel, and Jose. So I felt like I had a hand in it. He kind of trying to, maybe he did change the subject a little bit, saying that he had a hand in Jose and Rachel kind of, making it to where they did. And so when he initially said that, I didn't catch it like that either, saying like how well he knew Mirla. And so I didn't catch it until you just mentioned. I was like, you know what? He did point that out, and maybe Kevin was being a little messy when he said it. So I don't know.
I was like, hold on. I said, what? How does he know Mirla so well? Like they.
Did you see his face?
They might know each other well.
That's what.
Did you see his face though when Kevin asked Johnny what he thought about? Was he surprised about Mirla and Gil splitting up? And his face.
I saw all his stupid faces. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
He's just smiling and looking stupid.
I mean, but he said he was like, I mean, yeah, it was a shock. Like, I didn't know anything. Like, and I think he lying through his teeth. But hey, whatever. But hey, The biggest thing that I was laughing because they did a clip on Jose and Johnny's bromance.
Yeah.
Zach, when the camera was on Zach, he was cracking up. He was laughing so hard. He stifled his laughter because he was laughing so hard. And it was funny to see.
It was funny to see all back to back, and then they ended in that big crying. Like, and then the clips where they had plenty of clips. That's my boy. That's my boy. I really like it from both of them. That like they was going hard on each other, and like. And then at the end, they had that big old crying. I was like, yeah, it was funny to see.
Johnny literally said he was head over heels for Jose, and he hoped that his bromance lasts forever.
And that if he was a girl, he would date Jose. I was like, oh,
No comment.
I just, oh,
A little
okay.
too far.
And,
Especially
look,
for
and we,
people. I feel
and
like
we
women do that, but I ain't never seen a dude say, oh, if I was a girl, I'd date you. What?
all I'm gonna say is that you don't know what happened when him
Yeah.
was broken up. Anywho, moving right along. So we just gonna leave that there. Anything else that stood out to you guys about the bros conversation? I think that was it. Like I just thought it was really interesting the faces that Johnny was making. He kept on trying to blame Bao for everything that went wrong in the marriage, and I was just like, sir, I need you to stop blaming everybody. But it's interesting. Yeah, I can't wait to. I'm assuming they're gonna do the girls next time, and it'll be interesting to see it from their perspective. About Zach moving right along, Michaela. What? Who want to start? Because I mean, it's so much stuff.
I'll start.
Go
So,
for it.
Michaela, first of all, she showed up by herself because she said she want to protect her energy because she don't want to be interrupted. So she refused to share the stage with Zach.
Right.
Dramatic.
Yeah. So she started, and I actually think she actually owned her she was accountable for her own actions in the relationship, in the marriage. Because she did say, well, I realized that my knee-jerk reactions is a problem. Like, that's a problem, period. And she learned that. So I was like, okay, I'm glad she recognized that. She took something out of this marriage and learned something about herself. So that was great. But then, they go into what happened. It was so much because they showed a clip. It was like whiplash. It was like going on a roller coaster ride with them. It was just up and down, up and down. It's always, you never know what you're going to get from either one.
But you know what? I don't think that she was been accountable for her actions when she said that she knows that her knee-jerk reactions cause this. I think that America made her say that, because what if she went, it wasn't my fault, she would look even more crazy. I think that we don't know who's crazy in the situation, because he said one thing, she says one thing, they're both dramatic stories, and then their response, that is not what I did. And it ain't even like, well, half of it's true and half of it. They are both disputing 100% of each other's stories. So it's like, well, what is really going on here? They're both dramatic, they're both immature. She gets up there, I just want to protect my energy, and does this thing like that. I'm like, sis, you should have protected your energy when you were doing all that flipping out and flipping over tables. And, that's when you should have protected your energy, or you should have walked away from it, because it was a lot of times with that. One thing he did do was walk away from it. Now, he has a tendency to do that in every situation, which isn't healthy, but in the situations where she was escalating, I think walking away was the healthiest way to do it. But I think they're both immature. I think they both need to never talk to each other again. I think they need to take this as a learning lesson, that they're both not ready for really a committed, serious relationship without doing some self-evaluation and self-work. And that's what they should have taken from it. And I don't know why her sister was up there. I don't get it. Like, what did your sister have to do with this relationship? Like, and you're married, it's not high school.
This is true.
It was very kindergarten-y for sure.
Well, go ahead.
Oh no, I don't think that because the sister didn't exactly take her side either. She was, I think she was neutral in it. So I think
she didn't contribute nothing to the conversation, really. I don't know why she was there, to be honest with you.
She restated the obvious stuff. Like, so she said everything we were thinking.
Yeah.
But this is one thing that I can say. Michaela said she wanted to protect her energy, but for whatever reason, she was stupid enough to go to his house for a week after he said no, and cook, clean, and have sex with him. What I mean, that's what we were saying. We was like, honey, he said no. Do not let his no be a yes, because that's what he wanted it to be. And she did exactly that. She went right on back to his house and gave him some booty. And then she talking about, like you said, she want to protect her energy. That's when you protecting your energy, ma'am.
And then she looks like a fool because he said on national television, no, everybody was like, oh my God, then he's like, oh, we're going to go to dinner after this. Everybody knew what that was. Like, come on, everybody has been that person. Oh, we're going to go to dinner. Okay. Then next thing you know, you've been over somewhere. I mean, come on, like, and then you there 7 days. Then she's like, in your building through your security and blah, blah. I'm like, you don't want to look simple. Like, he just got 7 days of wifey activities with no commitment, and you still single. So like, and
he's
he
still
was
denying
it, but she was wrong. She should have let it go. After that decision day, I would have been done with him.
He's also in denial about other things, like when she said that they went to the honeymoon for their first month anniversary, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said they kissed, they did things, they had sex, whatever. He is denying it. Like when Kevin asked him,
he didn't kiss her, he did nothing.
And I'm like, wow, like you were really.
And then he said, this is the thing that got me. He said, this is the worst relationship I ever been in. Work, financial, but he said in every area of his life.
But my thing is, but just a week prior, because we're gonna say this was recorded a week. A week prior, she was like his mother. So his mother is a part of the worst relationship he's ever been in.
So when he said that was the most confusing no ever in life, I was like, oh my God, he started crying. Talk about she's
he doesn't even
see person as my mother. If I was his mother, I would get him when he get back home, because look how you treated her. You say she after me, like what the whole fuck?
He did not understand. He asked Kevin, he's like, where's the disconnect? Like, sir, that's what we're trying to ask you. Like, what are you saying? What you're saying makes no sense.
And getting mad because everybody was confused because your statement is confusing. He's like, I mean, what is it making sense here? He like, no, Zach, so you don't understand how, I don't know why everybody feels this way. Like, come on. Like,
you said you would make the relationship work. Like, you want to make it work. You want to be with her. You could be with her. You can see the relationship, but
I think he just wanted to. I think he wanted to do exactly what he did, which was he wanted a few more times to tap it, and maybe she cooked some mean chicken or something, and that was that.
Well, I don't think she can cook, because did you see them cook the shrimp?
Oh yeah. Well, she said she was cooking, cleaning, and fucking. So
it must have been.
I do remember that. She didn't know.
Yeah, definitely had to be ramen noodles. Okay, so God, Lord Jesus, you made me forget my train of thought, Jay. I forgot all about it. Anyway, I'm gonna say this instead. This is not the thought I was saying. I'm gonna get back to that as soon as this is my thing. He says that he has been ready for marriage for as long as he can remember. I'm gonna tell you something. He's not even ready to commit to a gym membership. Like, I know. Trust him with any of that. He is so immature. Like, it is crazy how immature he is. And this is what I was gonna say. Now I remember it. Okay, so you remember how in the throughout the season he kept on saying, are we gonna sleep together? Are we gonna sleep in the same bed? It's just fun. It's just fun. You remember he kept saying that? I heard him all along. He just wanted to tap. Yeah, he was just like, we're gonna sleep in the bed together. So now we can go back and look at the season and look. And every time he said that, I bet you they slept together.
The thing is, I think that it's new. It's new, the sex is new. So, when you start off with somebody new, that's very fun and exciting. And then clearly she must know what she's doing. He must enjoy it. And he must do, they must have a good chemistry that way. Because sometimes you can have good chemistry that way and then nothing else works. And you're trying to work it around that good chemistry there and that never works. So it might be that the sparks and energy during that time was so intense, but outside of the bedroom, it would never work. And they understood that, or maybe they didn't understand. They were just trying to make it work. But I don't know what it is. I hope they just take what they can from it. I don't even think nobody gonna be in their DM. Go both of them. I wouldn't want to date either one of them.
Either one of them.
Even if I wanted to at one point, I'd be like, you know what? See, this lets me know she was married and was acting crazy. He was married and acting crazy. It ain't gonna work.
Kevin Frazier did. He asked that. He said, if it wasn't for all of her like knee-jerk reaction, do you think it would have worked? And Zach said, yeah. And
right. You can't take this man's no. You see how he said yes, no on decision day. You see that? You cannot take this man.
I'm just reiterating what the man said. I'm not agreeing with him. I'm just
he probably meant no. That's what he probably meant. No.
You never know. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, he's not ready for marriage. She's not.
I don't think neither one of them are. Yeah.
No.
They need to work on themselves.
I think someone else. Go ahead.
I was just saying, one thing about that situation is that Zach, fortunately, has a little bit more time to mature. He's what was he, 27?
27.
Yeah. Michaela needs to speed it up. Because she's like 37. I mean, 30. What is she, 30?
She's 30. She was 30.
So she I thought she was 35. I don't know why I kept saying she was 35.
You
but anyway,
her all season.
Yeah, I have. But all I'm saying is she's older. So it's, whatever they both need to do is they need to go and get it fixed and work on, or just decide I'm not a relationship person. I'm not whatever, but they definitely need to. And I don't know. And then sometimes being with a whole different person brings out a whole different person. Get what I'm saying? And or you be with someone that you be like, I want to be good for that person, or that person helps me look at things and change. So I don't know.
I don't know.
When Zach came out, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna say
when Zach came out on stage and he was saying whatever his version of the story for whatever, and Michaela came out. Do you think that it was wrong for production to allow her to come out there? Yes. He was like, nah, y'all gave her time. Y'all need to give me my time.
That's right. Because she was so adamant about being on stage by herself that they should have said the same way he kept saying, I want to go out there. They were like, no. They ain't saying no, but he kept saying, why y'all won't let me?
You know why? They were scared of Hurricane K. That's why.
Well,
they should have gave him the same respect. The same respect that they gave him. I mean, her. Agreed. So when he said he wanted to stage by himself, they should have allowed that, and to allow her to just come out there, that wasn't right at all.
Yeah.
Well, they won't gonna give him no good.
Kevin tried though. He tried to get Zach out there.
Yeah, but why they didn't let Zach go out there? He was like, let's go out there.
I am sure that what we saw is not the full story. I'm sure that they are probably half of the episode. For the next time, there'll be a good amount because we still got to see Bow. It's definitely going to be something to see. But yeah, I don't know what the experts were doing in Houston. I feel like they just must have went up to like the board of pictures and was like, you and you're together. They could
they had. I kind of see why they did it. Like the things they had in common. They thought, oh, this person will balance out this person. The way they explained it in the beginning, I don't remember all the details, made sense. I know
what you're talking about.
It made logical sense. It's just once they put them together, it didn't work out. Yeah, I don't even think one day Rachel is going to work out.
At this point, I think the experts are being played too. So
yeah,
we don't know.
Well, this is true.
It's the representatives, right?
Yeah, that's true. They're matching representatives. That's true. That's absolutely true. That's a very good point.
A few seasons ago, one of the cast members said that they recruited him. Like they came to him and asked him to fill out the application for the show. Now, if they are doing that, then it makes sense, because if you're on here because someone recruited you from social media, you're like, okay, I'm willing to try it, and if I find love, fine, but if not, then and you
get paid and you get to be on TV.
But okay, so what's the story with Mirla? Because wasn't it something like that where it was one of her friends who was supposed to be on the show, but she ended up on it?
I don't know.
I want to say I recall something like that, but I don't know. I just think that production is getting sloppy with the people that they're picking, whereas before there were people who were actually trying to be married, whereas these people are just trying to get camera time.
Well, the other thing is, I feel like, oh, I can go 8 weeks, try to maybe meet somebody. If
Yeah.
not, I don't lose nothing. I can get a divorce. It's like trying it out, like you get a 14-day trial. You know, you don't like it, you just disconnect. You know, you don't have to do nothing. No, it's no skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? And then you getting paid. And the other thing is, you might get screwed, and then you could get screwed and be like, that was my husband at the time, or that was my wife at the time. Ain't nobody want, like, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like if somebody was to come to me and I was single, I'd be like, oh shit, okay, why not? Let's see what's up.
Yeah.
Like, why not? And that might be why people are coming in. Like, you know, Ryan thought he was about to get this, you know, I don't know, Brazilian something. I don't know what his type is. And then he ended up getting Brent. Like, what in the world? You know? So I just feel like, I don't know.
I don't know
Maybe
either. Yeah, I don't
Everything
know
is for the money. I don't know. Who knows?
It has to be a good paycheck. All I can say. I mean, I get it. I'm with you, Jay. If I was single and somebody said, want to try to get married, like, you know, bet, let's try. Like, I'm not dating. It ain't working out. I ain't married to nobody, but
You with nobody.
yeah, but I'm just like, still, I'm gonna come on TV and act the whole fool. I don't think so. Like, I mean, I don't know. Anywho,
I would be like Mirla. I would not give him none and all that stuff. That's why I said she probably didn't, because look, she didn't lose nothing. The only thing is that he put it out there, oh, like she smashed. But again, it looked like, oh, you went that whole time and made him wait, and then you finally gained him. So, you know, so it still make her look out good at the end.
She remind me of like one of them girls looking for a sugar daddy. Like, they want a sugar daddy, but they don't want to put out. That's what she reminds me of.
I don't know what it is.
And I think she wants this spoiled princess type lifestyle, and I get whatever I want, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You know, I think she want to spend her money on everything that, you know, she wants to, and that person pays all the bills. Like, and she'll be perfectly fine with that. That she can spend $100,000 on shoes, bags, clothes, makeup, lashes, this, that, and the other, and they pay all the bills.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But let's talk about the previews, y'all, because I mean, we still got more reunions to go, and this season is not over with. What did you guys see that jumped out?
Mirla is fucking Johnny.
Oh yeah.
But Johnny, like, what is it?
But let's say this. I'm not gonna say they had sex. I think that what they're insinuating, and we'll figure, you know, we'll confirm it, I guess, next week, is that maybe they went on a date. They've been exchanging texts or something, or pursuing a relationship, or he tried to holler at her or something like that. But something went on. I'm not saying they went all the way. It might not have been all the way, but it's some kind of connection or interactions that's not friend on friend. It's more like I'm pursuing that.
No,
and hey, who knows? You never know, because Mirla deny everything, so who knows? It may have.
She'll deny.
But she did. She shook her head.
She
did like this.
Yeah, because Kevin asked him. He said, so he was asking Johnny. He said, Johnny, are you just friends with Mirla? As in, like, insinuating, like, is it just friendship or is it more? And Mirla said, Johnny said,
but Mirla also said, to her and Gil having sex.
That's what I'm saying. She did not
saying yes.
So it probably means yes. And that's when Gil got up and walked away. He said, I'm not doing it. I don't like how this conversation going. He got up and
because that will be messed up. Y'all all been hanging out talking about how y'all family and can't nobody else relate to this this experiment but you guys, and that you have this bond like fraternity, sorority type relationship, and then you go and talk to Mirla or whatever you did. And I just think that's crossing the line. Everybody in that cast should be off limits. That's what I
don't think that they're gonna follow bruh and girl code on this one.
I know they're not. Well, clearly something happened, and I just feel. And then I feel like I saw in one of the previews where they were saying that, like, I would date so and so, and I would date so. It's like, hold on, why y'all looking at everybody leftovers and figuring out which one might fit you? Like,
that goes back to Johnny making that comment when it was just the guys talking about why I invite those problems. Talk about me.
Yeah. And you know what? I think, like, when in that as you bring up that conversation, that got me to thinking, because if Jose and Rachel are together and Mirla loves to be hanging out with Rachel, and Johnny loves to hang out with Jose.
it's like a double date.
Look, all them unfiltered shows, it was always Mirla sitting next to Johnny. They were very friendly. They're very touchy-feely. She's very, touching him, laughing, joking. And I'm just like, you know what? Mm-hmm.
They might come together now. We don't even know, because we don't know how old these shows are, but like how far in advance they film them is what I'm saying. They could be a couple right now. It'll come all out once they air everything. But like I said, if it is, it's messed up, and I don't think when you do things like that, your relationship will flourish. It won't prosper because the way you started it off.
Yeah. The reunion, they say it was 4 months after decision day.
Yeah, so anything could have happened in that time, and they've been watching this season all along. Like I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when you think about something that happened in the past, it's like it happened right in the moment. So they're sitting there watching something that happened in the past. I'm pretty sure if they're like me, then they're riled up just like it's happening in that moment. And
or squirming.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything else stick out about the previews that we should be, anticipating, or nah?
Well, Michaela got up and walked away too. So
and I think Zach did too. So like I said, I think this reunion is either edits or it's gonna be a crazy part 2.
I know. Look, when they broke the news about Gil and Mirla this time, I said, I guess his dog didn't die.
Right.
He was crying.
Yeah, but that was another thing that she handled, anyways.
Yeah. Look, we could go back into the season and talk about all the things all over again, but we're going to wait and we're going to reserve it for the next reunion show. So until next time, we are going to talk about Married at First Sight Houston reunion part 2. Don't miss it. I know you guys weren't disappointed. So if you didn't already hit the like button, go ahead and hit it now, because I know you enjoyed the time that we talked. And also make sure that you hit the share button and the subscribe button so that you don't miss an episode. Until next time, bye.